goal is to transcend the Buddhas that show up. Because there's going to be two Buddhas that show up, a good one and a bad one, or a love Buddha and a hate Buddha, or a fear Buddha and and you do the transcending of it by using your meditation that you learn in life. And like I told Al, I wished Al was here. This class is for Al. People that the class is for are never here usually, so we're talking behind his back. That Al's worried about it getting worse because this book says so many bad things about what happens to you when you die. But it just gets the same or better. And it just continues on where you're at right now. So what you're doing now in your life is going to be, and what you're doing your whole life now is going to be the same train you're on when you die, and what's going to happen to you in your next life. There's no dramatic changes. So if you've got a good life now, it's going to continue to be good. If you've got one that you don't like, you're going to continue to not like it. And so now is the time to do the meditation to make the transcending difference, to move into a transcendental consciousness or a nirvana consciousness, a state of being. They're all the same thing, and transcend those opposites. And I can teach you the meditations. You'll learn the meditations from people here. Sue will teach you one. Other people will teach you meditations here to do that if you would like, and then life will be easy for you. It'll just get better. Okay.
I think we were on 135 or 136.
I had 135 marked.
I had 135. I had 135 as well, but I just didn't know whether it was the one side of the paper clip or the other. Okay. So I'm going to just start at 135. Therefore, to the abbots or discipline holders, to the doctors, and to those mystics who have failed in their vows, and to all the common people, this thodol is indispensable. Footnote. The Lamas maintain that while mere goodness and book knowledge are desirable in devotees seeking liberation, spiritual wisdom coupled with unshakable faith and the setting aside of all intellectualisms are indispensable. One of the precepts of the great Tibetan yogis taught to all neophytes is, difficult indeed is it to obtain liberation through intellectual knowledge alone. Through faith, liberation is easily obtained. But those who have meditated upon the great perfection and the great symbol, another footnote, the great perfection refers to the fundamental doctrine concerning the gaining of perfection or Buddhahood as taught by the school of Guru Padmasambhava. The great symbol refers to an ancient Indian symbol of yoga related to the same school, but more especially practiced nowadays by the followers of the semi-reformed Kagyapa sect, founded in the latter half of the century A.D. by the learned Tibetan yogi Marpa, who, having sojourned in India as a disciple of the Pandit Atisha and of Naropa, Atisha's disciple, introduced the great symbol into Tibet. Milarepa, the most beloved of all Tibetan yogis, who was Marpa's successor, developed the practice of the great symbol and made it the foundation teaching of the sect. Will recognize the clear light at the moment of death, and obtaining the Dharmakaya, all of them will be such as not to need the reading of this thodol. By recognizing the clear light at the moment of death, they also will recognize the visions of the peaceful and the wrathful during the Chonyat Bardo, and obtain the Sambhogakaya, or recognizing during the Sitpa Bardo, obtain the Nirmanakaya, and taking birth on the higher planes will, in the next rebirth, meet with this doctrine, and then enjoy the continuity of karma. And then a footnote. If there be recognition of reality when it first dawns, for example, if the dreamer in samsaric existence be awakened into the divine state of the Sambhogakaya during the Chunyat Bardo, the normal cycle of rebirth is broken, and the awakened one returns voluntarily and fully conscious to the human world as a divine incarnation to work for the uplifting of mankind.
Read that again from the very beginning.
If there be recognition of reality when it first dawns, for example, if the dreamer in samsaric existence be awakened into the divine state of the Sambhogakaya during the Chunyat Bardo, the normal cycle of rebirth is broken, and the awakened one returns voluntarily and fully conscious to the human world as a divine incarnation to work for the uplifting of mankind.
Can I stop? If everybody who's read this, some sealed accepted the open line, what does it say in the front of the book that relates to what's just said there, Bernie?
Well, it mentions some individuals who entirely work in pathways of spiritual evolution.
So it's saying that you can become a summa individual, right?
Right.
To do what?
To do that.
What it says here, right?
Kind of what it says here.
And so, you think that I made that up?
No.
Because this book was written before I was born.
Right.
And so if we say it, it's okay? If we say it too? Around here? These guys, the Buddhists are all saying it. The Hindus say the same thing, don't they, Ron?
Yeah, that's exactly the same thing. Liberation.
And it said, and Jesus said the same thing in the Book of Mary and the Book of Thomas. And a lot of, and sort of said in the Bible, it's just not recognized by Christianity
Right.
as profoundly. So all the religions teach it, and all the philosophies teach it. That if there is a period of time during your transference after you die, that if you prepared yourself with meditation in this life, you'll have an opportunity to work on the pathways of creation and assist other people in the transference and in their evolution, and you could be reincarnated even and get a job like mine where people hate you. How bad did you hate me, Sham? Be honest now, real bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you have done something to me? If you wouldn't have gotten caught?
Nothing more than throw a couch, no.
Well, I mean, could you have popped me with a baseball bat? I mean,
No, I don't
if
think so.
I wouldn't have known it was you.
Nice. No, I don't think so.
How about a badminton racket?
Or maybe. Just a good pop on
Or on the back of the head, make a knot on the top of my head?
Yeah. I'm not a violent person anymore.
I know, but but you hated me that much to be able to get that out of you, don't you think?
I was real pissed, yeah.
Well, what did I do?
I don't even remember. I just remember being so full of just fuck.
Or was it at home it happened?
No, it was later. Yeah, I mean, it just like sort of creeped up on me, and all of a sudden I'm going all day long, just like, God. Argh.
It lasted for a whole day?
Yeah, practically.
And did it almost make you crap your pants? Could it?
I don't remember specifically, but
How long did it go away? Right away?
yeah, well, I think I realized that the issue was my own, and that it was my problem. And as soon as that happened, I mean, it just,
It died?
yeah, it died. I mean, all the attention turned back on me.
But you really did, because this is being very honest. As you did hate me, right?
Yeah,
Do you like me now?
yeah,
Do you love me now?
yeah,
Good. Don't hate me. What you need to do is transcend that love.
right,
Transcend the hate and go to a transcendental consciousness when you think of me.
right.
Okay? You can live regular life. Just when you think of me, be in transcendental consciousness. It's easier.
Yeah.
No, you'll learn more, honest. Because then you won't get caught in the swing. Because you get stuck there. You've hated me,
Right.
haven't you, Don?
Oh, yeah.
How bad?
I've had anger so bad, so much energy of anger, that I felt like I could barehandedly pick up this whole pyramid. I've had that much anger.
For me,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, you brought it, it was my anger.
Right, but
You,
you directed
triggered
it
it.
towards me, right?
well, I directed it, I could feel the anger and I knew it was in me and I just,
Yeah, but you knew
Didn't know
that
what to
I
do
was
with
the
it.
cause.
you were the cause that triggered it in me.
Right. I let it loose.
Big time.
And so do you love me sometimes?
Yeah,
Is it possible for you to have a transcendental love for me,
yeah,
where you can transcend those feelings,
the opposite, you bet.
the love and the hate?
Right,
It's a different kind.
yes,
It's a transcendental consciousness.
yes.
Is it possible for you to do it? It's easy to say, huh?
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, sometimes it's difficult, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it always seems difficult to let go of, well, really anything, I suppose.
You've hated me a little bit, haven't you, Edith?
Yeah, quite a bit. But I like you lately.
What did she say? I didn't...
She likes you lately.
Chris, you've had some real hate song for me, haven't you? Some of the hate causes you to go away, doesn't it, Donna?
Yeah.
Made you go away before, didn't it?
Several times.
Made Ron have issues and want to go away, right?
Yeah.
Bernie, same with you? Same with you, Sue? You too? So, you guys are all normal. Everybody's normal here. Anyway, just go on with that one little part there.
If recognition be delayed till the Siddha Bardo and the Nirmanakaya be attained, that is but a partial awakening, not an unclouded realization of reality. The Siddha Bardo being a much lower plane than the Chonyat Bardo. But even then there will be won the great boon of spiritually enlightened birth on one of the higher planes, Devaloka, Asura Loka, or the human Loka. And upon being born anew in the human world, the devotee will take up, in virtue of acquired propensities gained in the previous earth life, the study of the mystic the mystic doctrines and yogic practices from the point where it was broken off by death, this being the continuity of karma.
So can everybody see why, when I say to everybody, the reason I'm doing this in this lifetime is because what I've done in my previous lifetimes? Is that what this says?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't make it up? Because I've been accused a lot of times of making some of them up in the philosophy. And that's why we read all these books, because it's in all the other philosophies and all the other books. And like Al said I made it up, didn't he? Bernie? He said it was all a lie, didn't he, that I made up this philosophy, and none of it was true and none of it was real. But all the other philosophies teach the same thing. So I really didn't make it up, honest. Osho did. Or this guy. Whoever wrote this book did it. They made it up. So I'm not taking the blame. I'll blame it on them. Okay.
Therefore, this Thodal is the doctrine by which Buddhahood may be attained without meditation, the doctrine liberating by the hearing of it alone, the doctrine which leadeth beings of great evil karma on the secret path, the doctrine which produceth differentiation instantaneously between those who are initiated into it and those who are not, being the profound doctrine which conferreth perfect enlightenment instantaneously.
See? They said it. I didn't. They said if you learn the meditations and you do them, that you can wake up in your next incarnation perfectly enlightened. Right, Ron? Is that what it said?
This says.
I didn't. You know, this book was written in 1921, or it was translated. It was written 1,500 years ago. When was I born? In 44, right? So I couldn't logically have done this since I did it in a previous life. So it's not my fault, right?
Never been previous life though.
I know. It's not my fault in this lifetime.
Not this life.
Okay.
Those sentient beings who have been reached by it cannot go to the unhappy states. This doctrine and the Thodal doctrine, footnote, a small Tibetan work consisting wholly of mantras used as an accompaniment to the Bardo Thodol. If the deceased dies knowing the mantras, they, being powerful talismans, give him safe passage through the Bardo and a happy rebirth. Very often a copy of the Thodol, or perhaps merely some of its mantras, copied on small strips of paper and wound together in a tiny roll, is tied to the corpse and burned or buried with it, just as a copy of the Egyptian Book of the Dead was ordinarily interred with a mummy.
We put the scrolls with the mummies when we make you into a mummy. We make mummies around here, see there's one up there.
All a mistake.
This doctrine and the Tadol doctrine, when joined together, being like unto a mandala of gold inset with turquoise, combine them. Thus, the indispensable nature of the Thodol being shown, there now cometh the setting face to face with the dawning of the wrathful deities in the Bardo. The 8th day. Again calling the deceased by name, address him thus: O nobly born, listen undistractedly. Not having been able to recognize when the peaceful deities shone upon thee in the Bardo above, thou hast come wandering thus far. Now on the 8th day the blood-drinking wrathful deities will come to shine. Act so as to recognize them without being distracted. O nobly born, the great glorious Buddha Haruka, dark brown of color, with 3 heads, 6 hands, and 4 feet firmly postured, the right face being white, the left red, the central dark brown, the body emitting flames of radiance, the 9 eyes widely opened in terrifying gaze, the eyebrows quivering like lightning.
Don't worry about these words, you guys. These are the things the people in the East see that they've been taught to see. All you'll see is cars, and computers, and freeways and stuff like that. A freeway traffic jam or something. So it's look totally different when you're in the West and you die than these guys in the East. They have all these pictures of these things around, like this picture on the previous page, and those are the things they believe they're going to see when they die, so they see those things. And the things you believe you see when you're going to die, you know, your loved ones or your father in heaven or whatever, you'll see those kinds of things instead. So these are Eastern things written 1,500 years ago.
The body emitting flames of radiance, the 9 eyes widely opened in terrifying gaze, the eyebrows quivering like lightning, the protruding teeth glistening and set over one another, giving vent to sonorous utterances of ah la la and ha ha, and piercing whistling sounds, the hairs of a reddish-yellow color standing on end and emitting radiance. The heads adorned with dried human skulls and the symbols of the sun and moon, black serpents and raw human heads forming a garland for the body. The first of the right hands holding a wheel, the middle one a sword, the last one a battle axe. The first of the left hands a bell, the middle one a skull bowl, the last one a plowshare. His body embraced by the mother Buddha Kratisharima.
That's his consort.
The female Buddha, the mighty wrathful mother. Her right hand clinging to his neck and her left hand putting to his mouth a red shell filled with blood, making a palatal sound like a crackling, and a clashing sound, and a rumbling sound as loud as thunder, emanating from the 2 deities, radiant flames of wisdom, blazing from every hair pore of the body, and each containing a flaming dorja. The 2 deities together thus standing with one leg bent and the other straight and tense on a dais supported by horned eagles. There's a footnote. These are the Garudas of India in Tibetan mythology. They are depicted with eagle head and human bird body, having 2 human-like arms, 2 eagle wings, and 2 eagle feet. Symbolically, they personify energy and aspiration. Okay. Will come forth from within thine own brain and shine vividly upon thee. Fear that not, be not awed. Know it to be the embodiment of thine own intellect. As it is thine own tutelary deity, be not terrified. Be not afraid, for in reality it is the Bhagavan Varachana, the Father-Mother. Simultaneously with the recognition, liberation will be obtained. If they be recognized, merging thyself in at-one-ment into the tutelary deity, Buddhahood, in the Sambhogakaya will be one.
What's that mean, sir?
They become the same.
What did they tell you? If you can recognize them, do what with them?
Bond with them, merge with them.
and become one with them, right? How do you become one with them? I mean, you'd have to leave yourself behind to become one with them, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's two of them together already, and you join with them, and whatever comes out of that is a new thing.
Right.
So you join with them, but you can't still be yourself.
Right.
Okay.
The 9th day. But if one flee from them, through awe and terror being begotten, then on the 9th day the blood-drinking deities of the Vajra order will come to receive one. Thereupon the setting face to face is calling the deceased by name thus: O nobly born, listen undistractedly. He of the blood-drinking Vajra order, named the Bhagavan Vajra Haruka, dark blue in color, with 3 faces, 6 hands, and 4 feet firmly postured. In the first right hand holding a dorja, in the middle one a skull bowl, in the last one a battle axe. In the first of the left a bell, in the middle one a skull bowl, in the last one a plowshare. His body embraced by the mother Vajra Krotisharima, her right hand clinging to his neck, her left offering to his mouth a red shell filled with blood, will issue from the eastern quarter of thy brain and come to shine upon thee. Fear it not. Be not terrified, be not awed. Know it to be the embodiment of thine own intellect. As it is thine own tutelary deity, be not terrified. In reality, they are the Bhagavan Vajrasattva, the father and mother. Believe in them. Recognizing them, liberation will be obtained at once. By so proclaiming them, knowing them to be tutelary deities, merging in them in at-one-ment, Buddhahood will be obtained.
Okay, what's that at-one-ment mean, Ron?
It means just to surrender.
Become one with them, right?
Right. And nothing.
It's atonement
Outside.
is the original word.
Right.
At one
But,
atonement.
yeah, atonement or at-one-ment, the same thing. How do you do that, Bernie, would you say?
The only thing is, like Ron said, is surrender and letting go of yourself.
Isn't that what is taught in chapter 17, the
Yeah.
meditation? Becoming one with it?
Withdrawing your attention from,
Being separate
yeah,
on your personal identity? So the attainment would be, or the liberation would be getting rid of yourself and becoming at one and becoming in a Buddhahood with it. That's what chapter 17 is all about, right, Ron?
Yeah, connection. Yeah. The process.
The process of doing it? Okay. I just wanted to let you guys know I didn't make it up.
The 10th day. Yet if one do not recognize them, the obscurations of evil deeds being too great, and flee from them through terror and awe, then on the 10th day the blood-drinking deities of the precious gem order will come to receive one. Thereupon the setting face to face is calling the deceased by name thus: O nobly born, listen. On the 10th day the blood-drinking deity of the precious gem order named Ratna Haruka, yellow of color, having 3 faces, 6 hands, 4 feet firmly postured, the right face white, the left red, the central darkish yellow, and haloed in flames, in the first of the 6 hands holding a gem, in the middle one a trident staff, in the last one a baton. In the first of the left hands a bell, in the middle one a skull bowl, in the last one a trident staff. His body, embraced by the mother Ratna Kratisharima, her right hand clinging to his neck, her left offering to his mouth a red shell filled with blood, will issue from the southern quarter of thy brain and come to shine upon thee. Fear not, be not terrified, be not awed. Know them to be the embodiment of thine own intellect. They being thine own tutelary deity, be not terrified. In reality, they are the Father, Mother, Bhagavan, Ratna Sambhava. Believe in them. Recognition of them and the obtaining of liberation will be simultaneous. By so proclaiming them, knowing them to be the tutelary deities, merging in them in at-one-ment, Buddhahood will be obtained. The 11th day. Yet, though set face to face thus, if through power of evil propensities, terror and awe being produced, not recognizing them to be tutelary deities, one flee from them, then on the 11th day the blood-drinking lotus order will come to receive one. Thereupon, the setting face to face is calling the deceased by name thus. O nobly born, on the 11th day the blood-drinking deity of the lotus order, called the Bhagavan Padma Haruka, of reddish-black color, having 3 faces, 6 hands, and 4 feet firmly postured. The right face white, the left blue, the central darkish red. In the first to the right of the 6 hands, holding a lotus, in the middle one a trident staff, in the last a club. In the first of the left hands a bell, in the middle one a skull bowl filled with blood. And there's a footnote, literally filled with red substance, and likewise for parallel passages following. In Lamaic rituals, a fluid red pigment is commonly used to represent blood, symbolical of renunciation of life or of samsaric existence, as red wine is by Christians in the Eucharist. Gotta find it. Oh, okay. In the last, a small drum. His body embraced by the mother, Padma Krotisharima, her right hand clinging to his neck, her left offering to his mouth a red shell full of blood. Father and mother in union will issue from the western quarter of thy brain and come to shine upon thee.
Now, what were they doing? What were the father and the mother doing?
Joined in union.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that what the Buddhist, those pictures show?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, there I am. Will issue from the western quarter of thy brain and come to shine upon thee. Fear that not. Be not terrified. Be not awed. Rejoice. Recognize them to be the product of thine own intellect. As they are thine own tutelary deity, be not afraid. In reality, they are the Father, Mother, Bhagavan, Amitabha. Believe in them. Concomitantly with recognition, liberation will come. Through such acknowledging, recognizing them to be tutelary deities, in at-one-ment thou wilt merge into them and obtain Buddhahood. The 12th day. Despite such setting face to face, being still led backwards by evil propensities, terror and awe arising, it may be that one recognize not and flee. Thereupon, on the 12th day, the blood-drinking deities of the karmic order, accompanied by the Karima, Tamenma, and Wangchungma. Okay, and there's a footnote. Oh, this should be fun. These 3 orders of deities are goddesses, Indian and Tibetan in origin. The Karima having human shape, the Tamenma and the Wangchugma, like Egyptian deities, more or less Ptolemistic, having human-like bodies and animal heads, and each deity symbolizes some particular karmic impulse or propensity, appearing as an illumination in the bardo consciousness of the deceased.
Hallucination.
Karima seems to be a hybrid Sanskrit-Tibetan word, which, having become current in Tibet, like so many similar words, was incorporated into our text unchanged. Oh, here they pronounce this one. Framenma is probably the name of an order of pre-Buddhistic deities belonging to the ancient Bon religion of Tibet. And then Devang Phayagma. In the Tibetan rendering of the Sanskrit, meaning mighty goddesses.
How do they get the spelling out of that pronunciation?
Well, I mean, people ask the same about English. Have you ever thought about how some of our words are?
These names they come up with in the East are really wonderful.
Okay, will come to receive one, not recognizing terror may be produced, whereupon the setting face to face is calling the deceased by name thus: O nobly born, on the 12th day, the blood-drinking deity of the karmic order named Karma Haruka, dark green of color, having 3 faces, 6 hands, and 4 feet firmly postured. The right face white, the left red, the middle dark green, majestic of appearance. In the first of the right of the 6 hands, holding a sword, in the middle one, a trident staff, in the last, a club. In the first of the left hands, a bell, in the middle one, a skull bowl, in the last, a plowshare. His body embraced by the mother Karma Krotasharima. Her right,
The next
her 8 hands!
Let's just skip to 14.
I know, they're all very similar, but it's good to hear this. It's good to hear each one at the end especially, so.
Let's get to the end of each
Okay.
please.
Her right hand clinging to his neck. That gal really gets around. She's been in every single one of these, hasn't she?
No, it's a different set because it's a different level of incarnation.
No, they just have different color faces. That's the only thing that's different.
Father and mother in union, issuing from the northern quarter of thy brain.
Those father and mother are in union in all of them.
Will come to shine upon thee. Fear that not. Be not terrified. Be not awed. Recognize them to be the embodiment of thine own intellect. They being thine own tutelary deity, be not afraid. In reality, they are the Father, Mother, Bhagavan, Amoga Siddhi. Believe and be humble and be fond of them. Concomitantly with recognition, liberation will come. Through such acknowledging, recognizing them to be tutelary deities, in at one-ment, thou wilt merge into them and obtain Buddhahood. Through the Guru's select teaching, one cometh to recognize them to be the thought forms issuing from one's own intellectual faculties. For instance, a person upon recognizing a lion skin to be a lion skin is freed from fear, for though it be only a stuffed lion skin, if one do not know it to be so actually, fear ariseth. But upon being told by some person that it is a lion skin only, one is freed from fear. Similarly here, too, when the bands of blood-drinking deities, huge of proportions, with very thick-set limbs, dawn as big as the skies, awe and terror are naturally produced in one. But as soon as the setting face-to-face is heard, one recognizes them to be one's own tutelary deities and one's own thought forms. Then, when upon the mother clear light, which one has been accustomed to formerly, a secondary clear light, the offspring clear light, is produced, and the mother and offspring clear light, coming together like 2 intimate acquaintances, blend inseparably, and therefrom a self-emanating radiance dawneth upon one. Through self-enlightenment and self-knowledge, one is liberated. The 13th day. If this setting face-to-face be not obtained, good persons on the path or undergoing psychical, is that right? Yeah, psychical development, 2 fall back from here and wander into the samsara. When the 8 wrathful ones, the Karimas, and the, I can't remember how they said that, Framenma, having various animal heads, issue from within one's own brain and come to shine upon oneself. Therefore, upon the setting face-to-face is calling the deceased by name thus: O nobly born, listen undistractedly. On the 13th day, from the eastern quarter of thy brain, the 8 Karimas will emanate and come to shine upon thee. Fear that not. From the cast of thy brain, the white Karima, she's a cemetery, Indian cemetery goddess, holding a human corpse as a club in the right hand. In the left, holding a skull bowl filled with blood, will come to shine upon thee. Fear not. From the south, the yellow Sirima, another cemetery goddess, holding a bow and arrow ready to shoot from the west. The red Pramoha, holding a Makara banner, a water lion or leviathan, a mythological monster. I guess that's what a Makara is. From the north, the black Patali, another footnote, oh no, I don't need to read that one, holding a dorja and a blood-filled skull bowl. From the southeast, the red Pukes, holding intestines in the right hand, and with the left putting them to her mouth. From the southwest, the dark green Gasmari, the left hand holding a blood-filled skull bowl, with the right stirring it with a dorja, and she then drinking it with majestic relish. From the northwest, the yellowish-white Sandali. There's a footnote, referring apparently to the spirit of a female of low caste, who, like each of the goddesses of our text herein, haunts cemeteries or cremation grounds. All such goddesses here appearing seem intended as symbols, each in its own way, to impress upon the deceased, as in an initiatory drama, the nature of samsaric existence, its impermanence, its unsatisfactoriness, and the need to rise above it, conquering it through the world renunciation. All the goddesses emanating, as the text repeatedly teaches, from the mental content which the percipient's samsaric existence has bequeathed to him. Bequeathed to him. Tearing asunder a head from the corpse, the right hand holding a heart, the left putting the corpse to the mouth, and she then eating thereof. From the northeast, the dark blue smasha, tearing asunder a head from a corpse and eating thereof. These, the 8 karimas of the abodes, or 8 directions, also come to shine upon thee, surrounding the 5 blood-drinking fathers. Yet be not afraid. O nobly born, from the circle outside of them, the 8 Framenma of the 8 regions of the brain will come to shine upon thee. From the east, the dark brown lion-headed one, the hands crossed on the breast, and in the mouth holding a corpse, and shaking the mane. From the south, the red tiger-headed one, the hands crossed downwards, grinning and showing the fangs, and looking on with protruding eyes. From the west, the black fox-headed one, the right hand holding a shaving knife, and the left holding an intestine, and she eating and licking the blood therefrom. From the north, the dark blue wolf-headed one, the 2 hands tearing open a corpse and looking on the protruding eyes. From the southeast, the yellowish-white vulture-headed one, bearing a gigantic human-shaped corpse on the shoulder and holding a skeleton in the hand. From the southwest, the dark red cemetery bird-headed one, carrying a gigantic corpse on the shoulder. From the northwest, the black crow-headed one, the left hand holding a skull bowl, the right holding a sword, and she eating heart and lungs. From the northeast, the dark blue owl-headed one, holding a dorja in the right hand, and holding a skull bowl in the left, and eating.
I'm glad I'm not dying in India.
There's a monster in your closet. These 8 Framenmas of the 8 regions, likewise surrounding the blood-drinking fathers, and issuing from within thy brain, come to shine upon thee. Fear not. Know them to be the thought forms of thine own intellectual faculties.
There were a lot of people online tonight.
Who?
Mickey, Gabriel, Pilar, the troll, Mommy
Great.
Bear.
Hi guys. We won't always be reading this book because it's very difficult reading to understand. We're going to be going back to Osho's Book of Secrets. It's really good reading. You'll like it. But this one, but you ought to keep coming if you get a chance. You'll enjoy it. And this will probably just be a few more weeks until we're through with this.
Every Thursday? Or
Every Thursday.
We need to read the book to come on Saturday.
Pardon?
Different book.
Yes,
Oh, different book.
the summon book.
Yeah,
Much
on Thursdays,
easier
but
to-
then on Saturdays it's sort of a discussion.
Usually.
If you decide to learn to meditate, that's what I suggest. And if you want to do that,
Say what?
talk to Sue here,
Right, yeah.
or you can talk to Bernie or Ron. Those two guys right there after class, and they'll assist you. Right.
Thank you, Sue. Dredging through